Hi, and welcome back to the channel. So today we are starting completely, we're resetting our Prehistoric Kingdom stuff. I know I only did 2 episodes where I was legit just learning the game, pretty much, I would say so. Still learning, but I felt like it was about time to actually start up a series, a real series in Prehistoric Kingdom. Because I'm starting slowly to learn the game. Like the mechanics, how you build, etc., and the pieces, how the whole scaling thing works, and all that stuff. So, guys, I would like to welcome you all to Fort Petria, which is gonna be the name of this series. What this is gonna be about is that it's gonna be like a Mediterranean fort. It's gonna be, we're gonna build like walls around it, and then inside we're gonna build all these sort of Mediterranean buildings, etc. A fort, maybe even have all the animals, all the prehistoric creatures. We're gonna have all those inside of the fort. So what you're seeing me do here in the start is that I'm actually trying out the terrain tool, seeing how does it work, what does it do, what can we do with it, what is the possibilities. So that's kind of like what I'm doing here now. So as you can see, I did this little island here, which is going to be the island, obviously, that the fort is going to be built on. I don't know when we will start eventually add dinosaurs and etc. But it will be when we first sort of got a main base, or how do you say, a main foundation of this fort here. I will let you guys know, etc., where I took my inspiration from when we get further into the series, because there are a lot of different Mediterranean forts, Spanish forts, Italian forts, etc. In the world. So obviously I'm going to take a lot of inspiration from a lot of those. But what you're seeing me doing here in the back is that I am just trying out some different buildings. This first building might not be so Mediterranean-ish, but it's my goal here was to kind of like try to make an entrance, like a plaza with like these buildings, and then the further in you go into the fort, the cooler it obviously gets. Right, but today is a little bit of a long episode, but I am adding tons of stuff into this project here, because I feel like since this is first episode, we gotta have a lot of stuff in here, kind of like to get it all going, to get it started. So that's kind of like the vibe here. That's what we're doing today. I am actually super happy for this build today, at least, because I feel like that this is some of the like, I'm feeling that these are quite nice, like the whole concept, the whole vibe. How this is all gonna end up looking at the end. I'm super happy for it. And also, as I say, with the scaling, it takes time to get to know and get so used to that we actually have a scaling, because I don't think about it a lot. But I do really like the build I've done today, and I really hope you guys will too. And I hope you guys are welcoming this series here, and yeah, feel free to give me ideas what dinosaurs you would like to see in this project. What could be cool, all those things, etc. Because I'm hooked on this game now. I feel like we sort of got something good going on here, and I am 100% in it to figure out how this game works. And we also just got some new dinosaurs, and they keep on updating this game as well, friends. So keep that in mind. So I'm just trying out some different textures here, literally trying out all the different pieces, and I'm also kind of combining 3 or 4 textures together from these buildings. I think I do this, then I do a tower, some fort stuff, a wall, and then I do a little bit of a Mediterranean building, which I really like how that turned out too. Literally everything I'm really happy for. So that's a plus. But we are making some custom windows here. What is cool about making custom stuff in this game is obviously the scaling, and I will get better at it, and hopefully one day we can go in and do our own clutter until we get our own clutter eventually in the game. I'm really hoping that we will get more than just these 25 pieces we have. I know that the possibilities are how do you say, they're better with this sort of scaling depending on the pieces you have, because like the world is your oyster in this game, I would say so, because there's legit nothing, like the pieces you might have might be saying that there are window frames, but if you can scale them, they can literally be whatever you want. And that is still, as I say, a big plus in my book when it comes to this game, because we've been wanting scaling forever. I've seen it in a lot of other games, Park Attack, Sims, Planko. Obviously we don't have it, Planet Zoo. So getting it in a game like this that is very similar to Planko or Planet Zoo is very, very, like, it's awesome. It's a plus. And I really think that we can get something awesome built with this. I really like the texture on this, like these brick walls here. It really is really cool. And I think with those we have a big chance of actually building something a little bit different than all the other things. Especially with this texture here. I really, really like that. So some things are obviously gonna stand not 100% done after this video, but you guys will see that next time. I am in a very good groove and I have lots of ideas of what to do. So hopefully we can get an episode or two, at least a week, of Prehistoric Kingdom. But it will obviously take a little bit of time to get it started up. But at least today is a good day for that, because we have, as I say, we built so many things today on this building because I felt like it was needed, since it is the start of the series and we kind of want to get your guys' attention with this, right? So yeah. But I know I did tell you guys that I would tell you a little bit about what is inspired from. But we have Fort Jefferson in Florida, which is a very, very cool fort that Sparkle showed me, and I was like, this is really, really something that I had in mind what I wanted to do. Even though that this doesn't really have like a lot of Mediterranean stuff inside, it's mainly a lot open. So my goal is that to make a fort like that, but then inside of it we build a little village, a little town with habitats, etc. I also not entirely sure yet, maybe raptors for the first animal in here, but if you have suggestions, you know, just let me know down below what you think and what ideas you have. Do you play this game yourself? What is your favorite feature about this? Let me know down below, guys, and also give the video a like while you're at it if you think it deserves it. So as you can see here, this building here is slowly getting done. This is obviously the building that takes the most time to do, and then you will see me jump back and forth on all the other buildings around. As I said, today I'm learning a lot of the pieces. I'm actually learning how to build in this game and not get super frustrated as I did in the first week or two of this game, because it's so similar to Planko and Planet Zoo. There's still a few things that kind of like, you know, like the extra scaling thing and all that stuff. It's just, sometimes it's a little bit difficult, but it's fine. We'll get it work. We'll get it to work. So I'm trying to make a little outpost, like an out tower here, but some things, it'll take time. This tower will definitely see a lot of changes through time. As I said, guys, we're learning today, learning basic and see where this things takes us. What can we do? I know I mentioned this a few times. I just want to make sure that you guys are aware that whatever you see here when it's done, it's not the final result. So yeah. And also, if you're new here, welcome. And if you're not, then subscribe, and because you will be spoiled with this new Prehistoric Prehistoric Kingdom series that we just started today. So yeah, this is Fort Petria, guys. All right. So up here at the end of the tower, I eventually opening up so we get these sort of arches, and then I'm making a stairway all the way from the top to the ground floor. I'm still not super satisfied with how it turned out, but eventually we will get there. So that is nice. We are doing some custom roof eventually too for the Mediterranean building, as I said, but right now we are just using whatever pieces we have. I really hope we are gonna get some more roof pieces, or at least a different variation of them, because right now I feel like it's very how do you say, pale. It's a very dull selection of roof we have, and it's only because I was in the mood that I wanted to do the Mediterranean roof. Otherwise it would have been one of those normal roofs they have in the game, which I'm not super fan of, to be honest, right now, because they're very, like, I don't feel like those roofs are actually roofs you end up seeing. Like the wood piece here is fine, but you just can't put that on all kind of buildings, because that's just gonna be crazy, you know. So after the tower, we go over to here and start to use these kind of pieces here, and trying to figure out how would it look if we actually make it look like that you're entering the fort here. This is like the entrance, as I said. So here I'm doing like starting a little bit on the fort, how I kind of wanted it to look, and then I'm making a little pad for the guest, putting some fencing off, because we're gonna make a mix here. This is gonna be a mix of of realism and a Mediterranean town. So let's say that this fort here is something they used back in the day, but someone rich man bought it, so he could use all the or put all the dinosaurs and etc. in here. People would still live here too, maybe even. But mainly now in the start, we're gonna make like some facility buildings. We're gonna try to all these kind of things to make this park look super nice. And we also need to build the whole thing where the dinosaurs come from. I can't remember what it's called, a research center or something, which we also have to build something for because it's a big ass building. So maybe we can eventually build something a little bit tall to be the centerpiece, or maybe even build it in the background so you don't really see it that much. I'm not really sure yet on how we're gonna do that, but we will see. We shall see. So, moving on now to trying to make some pathing here. What's cool about this is that the pathing in this game is super easy. Like, you just place some path wherever you want, and the guests literally just they just get it like this. Like this is even also good enough for a path for the guest. They register this, so they will eventually walk up on this little slope we're doing here. So yeah, as you can see, a lot of things is happening in this episode here. I feel like that was kind of necessary since I have been slacking a bit. So I felt like it was about time to try do something more. And as soon as I start adding foliage, like some flower beds, fencing, a little bit of clutter, this building or this entire section, this scene here actually turns out very cool, if I have to say so myself. Yes. As you can see here, as I said with the whole wood pieces, I feel like we definitely need a little bit more pieces here, because it's not all the time I felt like building custom stuff in here. So that's kind of like what it went with. Here we're doing a little bit of an extra building, trying out a different texture, again a different wall. Just trying to see how these things combined look together. Is it something I can work with, or is it something I should not? Here I'm trying out the terrain, just trying to get away with the long grass. So I just used the whole normal sand to kind of like avoid that. And then here I'm adding a little bit of extra wall to this. I guess we can call this a different kind of fort wall. I don't mind having these two types of textures. It can be like the old fort, and then they can have added stuff through time. And I kind of like that, to be fair. I really also love this section here that we can actually just scale this without any issues whatsoever. Like as soon as I really get this scaling on point, then I think it's gonna be unstoppable for us, especially when it comes to clutter. I haven't really figured out what I can try to do yet. I mean, barrels and crates is obviously the go-to clutter to start with. Maybe I'll do that next episode, and maybe I will also even add a habitat next time. We will see. But the whole goal with this series is definitely one episode a week, if not two. It all depending on how busy my schedule is and etc. I might also even do some streaming, so also check out the links in the description, guys, if you don't want to miss out on that. There's also all kind of games I play there. So eventually now we are slowly starting to get this whole wall figured out, and like a little bit of a round tower, which I'm trying to make look nice, especially here in a bit where we're starting to put in some foliage, some flower beds, etc. And as soon as we start that, then you'll see this area just pop up. It's the same in all these games, guys. Like foliage just does something to your area. It just makes it feel fresh, you know, like immersive, the way you do it. And I'm not hating the foliage in this game. It's quite nice, especially even you can even scale that as well, right? So yeah, I feel like we're going somewhere, guys. We're going somewhere. Okay, it's great. So yeah, here I'm just doing the last bits to the stairway here, as you can see, using the wood pieces here to kind of like make a railing to the stairs. And I'm not completely satisfied with how it ended up looking, but at least it goes from ground to the top, and then we'll eventually build. I feel like maybe building some stands or something underneath the tower, making it very clutter-ish, to make people feel like they can walk there. So that's something we're gonna do. So it doesn't look superb right now, but it will eventually when we get further into the build. So adding some windows here to the walls as well. I thought like that was kind of nice. And then here we're adding the railing to give it that, you know, realistic sort of perspective for them to actually walk up here and check out the fort. What's gonna be here about this around this section here, I don't know yet, but we will definitely try build more forts, more buildings, maybe even some shops. and all that stuff. So, alright guys, so as I said, here we are doing some flower beds, and when I do this, it just adds up a total different vibe to the area, and I actually love that. And I've always been like, I've never done a lot of Mediterranean or like with palms, like tropical, just hot vibe. Mainly did that with Above Wind in Planet Coaster. So I feel like this time around we should do something like this and actually try to see what we can do with this theme, because I love Mediterranean. It's such a cool theme, and yeah, let's see where it takes us, because I have lots of plans for this project. So hopefully we will get there eventually. So what I'm doing here is that I'm doing this little arch, because my goal here was to have a sign that says "Welcome to Fort Petria," right? I will not be doing that today. This is kind of like just a preparation. And as I said, there's going to be a lot of things added around here, which I hopefully at the end will do us good, you know. At the end here, almost at the end, guys, we are adding the last, as I said again, flower beds, which really just does so much here. Adding the logs, trying to get it to look somewhat nice. Like, how would they actually build the flower beds around the fort here, and would they pre-reserve it, you know, like how do we do this? So I'm just adding a little bit of bushes, trees, palm trees, etc., trying to get this vibe going. And I say it, like, as soon as I do this, it just changes, and I love it. I love it so much. Let me know, guys, what you think. Like, what is your go-to? Do you like to like add the foliage at the end of your build, kind of like to get that last power on it, to make it look super good, or do you actually mix foliage while you're building with it? So kind of like to get the overview, because I'm like, I build and then I add the foliage, because I know foliage is gonna save my build anytime. So if I add it at the end, at the start, in the middle, it doesn't really matter. But to me, I want the whole building to be clean and clear until I start adding these kind of things, right? So as you saw in the background here, we try to make our own little Mediterranean roof, as we did with the bamboo pieces, as we do in Planet Zoo whenever it comes. So that's kind of nice. We can do our own sort of little thing there, that is relatable from Planet Zoo, right? So yeah, guys, this is pretty much the last building, and then afterwards I'm adding a little fort in the background too. As I say, I am kind of unstoppable in this video here, because I just wanted to have so much out, so I'm not like slacking out, you know. So you guys have a lot of stuff to see and a lot of stuff to look forward to in this new series that we're starting on the channel. It's always exciting to start a new channel, guys. Or start a new channel, well, that's also exciting. No, starting a new series on the channel, because you're always excited for the feedback and all that stuff. So as you can see, just at the end here, as I said, building the last part here, I kind of felt like, what if I built the fort behind these buildings here and kind of like attach them to each other, because that will look kind of cool, and that will give that fort vibe already, that these buildings are built on top or next to the fort, kind of like afterwards or something, where the further in we go, we're gonna maybe just try to see if we can get some more a little bit abandoned sort of style buildings, mixed with some new modern buildings and Mediterranean stuff. Yeah, I'm excited for this project, because I said it is very different from what I usually build. So it gives me like a good push. It gives me like a good push to do that. And also, since I can mix it with realism and all that stuff, like not fantasy, and so this is like just very generic and common. And I think that that's good to do that here. It's good to start up like that. Just adding some doors, trying to make it look nice, adding some fencing, some clutter. You know the drill, guys. You know the drill. So yeah, so eventually you guys will see some cinematics at the end here while I am doing the last parts here and there, and then we will just hopefully see each other next video, guys, because I'm hyped about this show here, and I'm pretty sure you guys are already gonna get one next week, so don't worry. The last part here is that I am not doing a custom roof on this guy. I will probably do that afterwards, so just keep in mind that this might just be a temporary roof for this top building here. I'm just using the wood roof because I kind of like just wanted to get this done, represented enough, so I could do a little video on it. As you can see here, I'm trying to make the fort walkable so people can walk around the fort, and then we will have habitats around and etc. I think this is gonna look super well. The whole composition, like everything is gonna look super dope. And maybe at the time we're building this, we're gonna get some new things. I know the Steam Workshop might be open soon, and as I said, they just updated with some new animals, a new update. The game is not so jank as it was like a month ago when it got out. That is definitely a fact. They work a lot on it, so I can definitely recommend you guys getting this game if you're looking for a new building game, a new game to be creative in. Then this one is definitely a game for you to get if you want to do that. But anywho, friends, I am slowly gonna cut off the rest of the video here, since it is pretty much just me doing some last bits here and there and adding some clutter as well. So yeah, as I said, I'm just adding the wooden piece onto the roof here, which is pretty much that, and then I will eventually do a little balcony outside of this building here to kind of like connect them all together, which is very nice. I really like how that whole concept got to look. And I will eventually also add a little bit more stuff to the balcony here as well, so you guys do not have to worry about that. And I really do like this piece here, as you already can see. I think this is probably going to be my favorite piece, the one with the brick walls, because depending on the way you scale them, the space between the rocks or how it's going to be looks just super nice. They change a lot, so it's nice to have those kind of different possibilities too with a piece, that even though you're scaling it, the piece kind of changes a little bit of texture too, which sometimes in any case can be good, you know. So yeah, I'm really excited about that, to be fair. But yeah, at the end here, guys, we're just adding a little bit of a balcony here, as I said, and then we're pretty much done with the build today, guys. Then you guys will get some cinematics, and then you can enjoy those. And then eventually, next time, hopefully, we can add some animals and we can have a habitat already. So guys, if you like what you see, please subscribe, and we will see where this project will take us. Please suggest whatever you have in mind, and how do you like this game yourself if you play it? Let me know down in the comments below, guys. So yeah, this is just the last bits I'm doing, and I will see you guys in my next video, whenever that will be. Yes, enjoy the cinematics, guys, and take care. Have a great day, great weekend, and I'll see you around. Peace. Bye bye.